The lawyer's office smelled like old leather and regret.
Michael sat across from a woman he'd shared a bed with for 7 years, and now he couldn't look at her face. The divorce papers sat between them like a third person in the room.
His hand hovered over the pen.
Emma's fingers were laced together so tightly her knuckles had gone white. She didn't say anything.
That was the part that made his chest hurt the most. She just stared at the wall behind his shoulder, jaw set, breathing slow and deliberate like she was counting each inhale.
The lawyer cleared his throat.
Michael picked up the pen.
Emma finally looked at him then, and something in her eyes made him pause.
It wasn't anger.
It wasn't even sadness. It was exhaustion, the kind that settles into your bones after fighting a battle you know you've already lost. Michael signed anyway. The scratch of ink on paper sounded too loud. Emma reached for the pen without a word, and he wondered if she'd say something, anything, to make him stop. She didn't. 4 months earlier, Michael had come home early from a work trip. The house was quiet. Emma's car was in the driveway. He remembered feeling relieved, excited even. To surprise her, he'd bought flowers from the airport kiosk, the cheap kind wrapped in cellophane. But she'd always said she liked those better than expensive bouquets. He found her phone on the kitchen counter.
It buzzed, a text from a name he didn't recognize. Can't wait to see you again.
Same time next week. Michael stood there holding wilted daisies while his stomach dropped. He opened the phone. Her passcode was still his birthday.
That somehow made it worse.
The messages went back months.
Lunches on Tuesdays,
coffee on Thursdays, always the same CAF across town, the one near the hospital where she volunteered.
He scrolled through them all, hands shaking, looking for something explicit, something undeniable.
But the messages were careful,
vague.
Today was nights. Thank you for understanding. When Emma came home an hour later, grocery bags in both arms, she smiled at him.
That smile broke something in Michael he didn't know could break.
He asked her directly, "Who is David?"
Her face went pale.
She set the bags down slowly.
Michael waited for the lie, the excuse, the explanation that would make sense.
Instead, she said, "I can't talk about this right now." That night, she slept in the guest room. For 3 weeks, Michael asked. Emma said the same thing every time. She wasn't ready to explain.
He took that as confirmation. His mother told him to get a lawyer. His best friend said everyone could see it coming.
Michael started sleeping with his phone face down because every notification made him flinch.
He hired a private investigator, felt sick doing it, but he had to know. The investigator followed Emma for 2 weeks.
Photographed her going into the CAF.
Sitting across from a man in his 50s. Graying hair, kind face.
They never touched, never held hands, just walked for an hour, sometimes 2, then left separately. Michael confronted her with the photos.
Spread them across their dining table like evidence at a crime scene.
Emma looked at each one, face unreadable.
Then she looked at him.
"You had me followed," not a question.
A statement.
He asked if she was going to deny it.
She stood up, went to their bedroom, and started packing a bag.
She moved in with her sister. Michael stayed in the house they bought together, surrounded by her things.
Her books on the shelves, her coffee mug in the cabinet. He couldn't bring himself to pack them away. His lawyer said it was an open and shut case.
Emotional abandonment, infidelity, even without proof of anything physical.
Emma didn't fight it.
The week before they were supposed to finalize everything, Michael's younger brother stopped by unannounced. Ryan never visited without calling first.
He stood in the doorway holding a manila envelope, face serious in a way Michael had only seen at their father's funeral.
"You need to see this before you sign anything," Ryan said. Inside the envelope was a hospital intake form. Emma's name at the top. Date, 14 months ago.
Diagnosis code he didn't understand.
He looked at his brother.
"Keep reading," Ryan said quietly.
The next page was a referral to an oncologist. The one after that, a treatment schedule. Chemotherapy, radiation, clinical trial enrollment. All of it dated, stamped, signed. Michael's hands started shaking so badly he almost dropped the papers. Ryan caught them. "David Morrison."
"He's her oncologist. I called the hospital."
He confirmed she's been his patient for over a year. Michael sat down on the floor right there in the hallway. The pages scattered around him like leaves.
He thought about every Tuesday, every Thursday.
The way she'd come home tired. The way she'd started wearing more scarves, more hats.
He'd thought she was trying a new style. He'd thought she was dressing up for someone else.
"Why didn't she tell me?"
His voice came out broken.
Ryan sat down next to him.
"I don't know, man."
but you didn't exactly give her a chance to. That hit harder than Michael expected.
He thought back to that first night. I can't talk about this right now.
He'd heard guilt. What if it had been fear?
He found the calendar.
Emma's planner. The physical one she kept in her nightstand because she never trusted digital reminders. He'd never looked at it before.
It felt like reading someone's diary, but he opened it anyway.
Every Tuesday and Thursday for the past year had a small pencil notation. T.
And underneath, times. But there were other marks too.
Dates circled in red. Test results. Scan appointments. And then, 3 months ago, a single word written in shaky handwriting. Clear.
The date was 2 weeks before he'd come home early and found that text message.
2 weeks before he destroyed everything. Michael tried calling. Emma didn't answer. He tried texting. She left him on read. He drove to her sister's apartment.
Her sister met him at the door, arms crossed. She doesn't want to see you. He asked to explain.
Explain what? That you accused her of cheating while she was fighting for her life. He left a letter in her sister's mailbox.
Wrote and rewrote it 17 times.
Apologized. Begged.
Told her he'd found the calendar, the hospital records, that he understood now.
That he was sorry.
That he loved her. That he should have trusted her.
The letter came back unopened 3 days later.
His mother asked what happened. He told her everything.
She went quiet for a long time.
Then she said, "Did you ever ask yourself why she didn't tell you?"
Michael didn't have an answer. His mother sighed.
Maybe she knew you'd fall apart.
Maybe she needed to be strong, and she couldn't do that while holding you up too. That thought kept him awake for days. He remembered the year before her diagnosis, his father's death,
how he'd barely functioned for months,
how Emma had handled everything, the funeral arrangements,
the estate, his mother's grief and his own. She'd been a wall he'd leaned against until he could stand again.
And when it was her turn to need support, she'd faced it alone.
Because maybe she thought he couldn't handle it. Or maybe she thought he wouldn't believe her if she tried to explain.
Maybe he'd proven her right. 6 weeks after the divorce was finalized, Michael saw Emma at a coffee shop, not the one across town, a different one, closer to what used to be their neighborhood. She was sitting by the window with a book.
Her hair had grown back, shorter than before, darker somehow.
She looked healthy.
She looked like herself again.
He almost left, almost got back in his car and drove away.
But she glanced up and their eyes met through the glass. For a moment, neither of them moved.
Then Emma did something Michael didn't expect. She nodded, just once. Not a greeting, not forgiveness, just acknowledgement that he was there and she'd seen him.
He went inside, ordered coffee he didn't want. When he turned around, she was looking at her book again. He walked to her table, stood there until she looked up.
"Can I sit?" he asked. She considered it for what felt like an hour.
Then she gestured to the chair across from her. They sat in silence.
Michael didn't know what to say. Every apology felt insufficient.
Every explanation felt like an excuse.
Emma turned a page in her book, sipped her coffee.
Finally, she spoke. "I'm in remission." Her voice was steady.
"I know," Michael said. "Ryan told me. I'm so glad." Emma nodded, closed her book, but kept her finger inside to mark her place.
"I didn't tell you because I needed to get through it my way.
Not because I didn't trust you. I couldn't carry you and the cancer both." Michael's throat tightened. "I would have wanted to help." "I know," Emma said.
"But I needed to be selfish."
"Just this once." She looked out the window. A woman walked past with a dog. Normal life continuing like nothing had happened. "I'm not angry anymore." I was. For a long time.
But anger takes energy I don't have to spare. Michael asked if there was any chance, any possibility of starting over.
Emma looked at him then, really looked at him. And he saw the answer before she spoke.
"I don't think so," she said quietly.
"Too much is broken."
"And I've just started learning how to be whole on my own."
He nodded, felt something inside him crack and settle. "I understand," and he did. Emma picked up her book. Michael stood to leave. At the door, he turned back. She was reading again, coffee in hand, sunlight on her face. She looked peaceful. He realized he hadn't seen her look peaceful in years. Outside, the afternoon had turned cold. Michael got in his car and sat there for a while, hands on the steering wheel, engine off.
He thought about all the things he should have done differently.
All the questions he should have asked, all the trust he should have given.
Eventually, he started the car.
Drove home to a house that still felt too empty. Emma's coffee mug was still in the cabinet.
He finally took it down, wrapped it carefully in newspaper, and put it in a box.
Maybe someday he'd give it back to her. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe it didn't matter anymore. That night, he lay in bed staring at the ceiling. The weight of everything sat on his chest like a stone. He didn't cry,
Didn't call anyone, just lay there in the dark, thinking about a woman who'd fought a battle alone, because she thought she had to.
and a man who'd proven her right. The moon moved across the window. Shadows shifted.
Michael closed his eyes. Tomorrow would come whether he was ready or not.
Just like every other day since she'd left. Just like every day that would follow.
He'd learn to carry this, eventually,
The way Emma had learned to carry everything else.
alone.